Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Welcome back, members of the public. Council did, this is the council meeting for August the 10th, 2026. Council did meet at 4 o'clock for a brief in-camera discussion, and then we had recess until 5:30, so we're returning now to continue our meeting. All members of council are present. We have members of our staff and some people in the audience as well, so welcome to the Clearview Township Council meeting. I'd like to begin our meeting by recognizing the First Nations, Métis and Inuit peoples of Canada as traditional stewards and caretaker of the land. We acknowledge that Clearview Township is located within the boundaries of Treaty 18, the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Tianotati, the Wendat, and is the home to many First Nations, Métis and Inuit people as part of the intricate nationhood that reaches across Turtle Island. At this time of truth and reconciliation, we welcome the opportunity to work together towards new understandings and new relationships and ask the Creator for guidance in all that we do. And as always, it's my pleasure to say the land acknowledgement on behalf of the township, and I do so voluntarily. As I said on our agenda, we did have a closed session, so we're going to move right to item number 2 on our agenda, Council, and that would be approval of this agenda. Be it resolved that Council of the Township of Clearview hereby approve the agenda dated August the 10th, 2026 as presented. Mr. Broderick, Mr. Deputy Mayor, thank you. Are there any questions to today's agenda? Seeing none, I'll call the motion then. All in favor? That carries unanimous. Thank you. At this time, I'll call for declarations of pecuniary interest. Does any members of council have any declarations to make at this time? All right, seeing none, if something comes up during the meeting, please bring it forward right away. We'll deal with it for you immediately. And then at this time, I do have the item number 4, our public participation period. Looking at our audience, there are members here, so I will read the script and then I'll look for any member from the public. Public participation. Please be advised that comments and views expressed under public participation period are not the views of the Township of Clearview Council or the administration. Public participation is limited to 15 minutes. Each person is limited to 5 minutes, and questions or comments are to be directed to the mayor. Questions shall not refer to personnel matters, litigation or potential litigation, or planning matters that have already had a public meeting or any item considered confidential. For those members of the public not able to attend the meeting in person, written public participation can be provided through the Township's web portal. A written comment shall be received prior to noon on the Friday before the regularly scheduled council meeting. Remember at this time to please share the time with your fellow citizens. So I will look to our Deputy Clerk. Emma, did we receive any electronic participations for this meeting?
Thank you, Your Worship. We did not receive any electronic public participation questions.
Thank you very much for acknowledging that. And so I'll look to the floor. If there's anybody from the public who wishes to come forward and ask a question at this time, they're welcome to. Going once, going twice. All right, none. Thank you very much anyway. And we always have public participation in our regular council schedule. Delegations and presentations at this time, council, there are none. And public meetings, there are none. Approval of the council meeting minutes. Recommendation be it resolved that council of the Township of Clearview hereby approve the minutes of July 27, 2026 council meeting and the July 29, 2026 special council meeting as presented. And I'll look to Mr. Beelan, thank you, and Councillor Deneen, thank you. Any questions on the minutes of those two meetings? Council, seeing none, I'll call the motion then. All in favor? That carries, thank you, unanimous. Okay, at this time we do have item number 8, our correspondence items for information. I do have one item from our closed session that I'll read, and I'll look for a mover and seconder. Be it resolved that Council of the Township of Clearview hereby direct staff to act in accordance with the direction provided in closed session regarding the lease agreement for 205 Ontario Street. Mr. Walker, thank you. Mr. Beelan, thank you. Any questions on this? Seeing none, I'll call the motion. All in favor? And that carries unanimous. Thank you very much. Let's see. Also, we have an NVCA correspondence regarding the asset management plan, asset management letter and plan, and then the county release regarding the establishment of the temporary reception center in Bradford, West Gwillimbury, which, by the way, is a pretty innovative way to work with the federal government, the provincial government, and the municipal government at the county level to establish this reception center for those persons that are coming to our country that are claiming, seeking refuge in our community and in our country. So I think that's a really innovative program that's going on there. Paul, do you have anything you want to add about NVCA? There's a comment in here.
I was just going to comment first about what you're mentioning about the new facility in Bradford. We've been able to, the county has been able to purchase that building with federal funds. So it's really not prohibitive for us. And it's through their funding, and over that time period, it will become ours sort of thing. But it's a great establishment for new Canadians and new people to the communities to. And I know, like, we always look at our own communities, but Bradford seems to be a drop-off zone for a lot of people, a lot of migrant workers there sort of thing. And I know the mayor was a little concerned about it even, but it is a good spot to facilitate it sort of thing. So anyways, that's just a comment of that. Just talking about the letter from the NVCA in regards to asset management. As I've been mentioning, we are under the gun right now because of the amalgamation of the conservation authorities, and going forward will be known as the Lake Huron Regional Conservation Authority. Anyways, we have to get our levies together now. So they're presenting it now, even though normally we'd be talking to councils in January or February. We will be dissolved as of February 28th. I keep reminding people, and with the new Conservation Authority structure will take place at that time. So we have to have our budgets for the category 1, 2s, and 3s ready at this time. So, okay.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm glad you highlighted that. Do you have a question there, Mr. Beelan?
Yes, I do, Your Worship. About the county's temporary reception center.
Yes.
It says people can stay there for 90 days. Does that mean the reception center is open for quite a few years, or do we know how long that reception center is open? It says temporary reception center.
It is a temporary facility because they purchased the property, and it'll need to be fully renovated to, basically suit the need. It does have the ability to house people, so they will be there. I don't expect that they'll be there for longer than 90 days if they need to.
So that's the people staying there, but I meant the center itself. Does it have a termination date, or?
No, it's part of
So
the.
the name is actually confusing because it says temporary reception center.
I think the temporary side is from the county's point of view, because the county will continue to operate the facility. This is a temporary location until such time as they want to renovate that building to make it even more accessible than it is today.
Okay.
They're doing this, sorry.
Yes.
They've got a program, Marty, where they're taking people in, getting them established, getting them set, because they're not going to all stay in Bradford. They're going to have communities that they're going to go to.
Right.
Like most of these people who arrive want to be with people of, I would say, of the like. So they'll be going to different places. So they can stay up to 90 days. And the county will be working with them to establish them in other communities. But this is the drop-off point. It's a apartment.
I understand that. I
Yeah.
just wondered if there was a planned closing date for this center, because
No,
it's a temporary reception center.
I think that, again, I think the language being used is about the fact that the facility will need to be renovated if it's going to be used at that actual location. So it does have abilities and capabilities today, but it will need more attention if it's going to be used on a longer term than what we're initially planning. Again, this is a cooperative effort, as I said, between the federal government, the provincial government, the county government, and the county's going to be taking over sort of administering it with the funds coming from the feds and the province to help us do that. So there's a lot of unanswered questions in regards to how long that facility will remain at that location, but the service of the facility is being assumed as a permanent type add to our area, to our region. So I think it's pretty significant, because there's a great deal of need for this. It's been shown, with our newcomers program that we have at the county, that's for sure.
I believe, Your Worship.
Yes.
This is a five-year program. There is an end date on this program from the federal government. So at that time, the county will be looking at what to continue or to repurpose that building with. So is it 5 years or 7 years, something like that? It was something like that anyway. So it's federally funded.
There's so many reports we have to read at the county, I can't keep track of them sometimes, because they all kind of stick together. Okay, members of council, if there's nothing further on that, at this time, then we're going to go to our ward reports. Mr. Walker, you're going to get the lead off today.
Well, it won't take me long, Your Worship, other than Wednesday the 29th. We had the special council meeting and planning. The only other comment I want to make is I wish Mother Nature would go take a flying leap. Leave us alone for Thursdays, because we're tired of it. Mother Nature, go on holidays for a month, will you? Thanks.
Are you making a motion? Thank you, Bob. Councillor Beelan.
Thank you, Your Worship. Mine's short as well. July 29th, I attended that special council meeting on short-term rentals and the planning meeting at night. Then on August 5th, I attended the Climate Action Committee meeting where we didn't have quorum. That's all I got.
Well, that's disappointing, but thank you for attending. Councillor Deneen.
Thank you, Your Worship. The special county council meeting, the short-term accommodations, with that and the next library day at the Ottawa Hall is the 23rd, but prior to that, Barb's Clothes Closet has their 50th anniversary on the 18th. Councillor Walker and I will hold the fort down while the rest of you guys go to AMO and have a good time. Thanks.
Thank you very much. And I hope that that Barb's Clothes Closet does have a great celebration. And I know you councillors will do a great job there. Thank you. Paul, would you like to go next?
Sure, thank you, Your Worship. August 4th, we did the flag raising for overdose awareness at the hub, and that's become a bit of annual flag raising, and we had a few of us there. This past weekend, August 9th, we had the opportunity to attend the Singhampton Meet Your Neighbors barbecue. So the mayor and myself, I won't say crashed the event, but we're there and enjoyed it and had a great opportunity to meet a lot of the people there. So that was good. And as was just mentioned, the group will be going to AMO in Ottawa this weekend for 4 or 5 days. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor McCarthy.
Thank you, Your Worship. Same as everybody else, July 29th, the special public meetings, and this past weekend, I got something off my bucket list by going to the Boots and Hearts Festival, and just 40,000 people ran into some of our staff from Clearview having a good time there too, so that was nice to see. Thank you.
Good for you. Good for you going to that event. Well done. Councillor Broderick.
Thank you, Your Worship. July 29th, attended the special council meeting and public planning meeting. The 31st, attended the grand opening and ribbon cutting for RLB Creations. August 4th, attended the flag raising for Overdose Awareness Month. And yeah, next week is AMO and the Creemore BAA AGM on the 19th.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Yeah, there's been quite a few little events that have happened that have come through our community, and it's been a busy time for all of us. I'm just going to mention a couple. Again, Brad's Place, we did the flag raising for addiction awareness, and I'm always impressed at that organization with their volunteers that step up and help out, and how they work really, really hard to make sure that they help the clients that desperately need that to transition into a healthier lifestyle, that's for sure. I want to mention, I think I may have mentioned this before, but I'll do it again, and that is that I was invited to attend and was honored to be there at the change of command ceremony at Base Borden. The change of command, was Colonel Ramasar is leaving, and we've got a new base commander there, so we're looking forward to building on the relationships we already have with Base Borden. So that was great to be there for that. I want to mention that the Gathering of Classics was held this weekend. I know it was a little bit of a weird weather event on Saturday. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend it, but I do know there was a lot of traffic, as I was reported that there was a lot of traffic on Highway 26, and so I'm glad to hear that it was a moderate success for sure. I know that our team delivered a lot of tents to that facility, and I do want to give a shout out to the members of the Stayner and District Kinsman Club, who always run the barbecue out there, and I was talking to Gary Burkholder about it, and he told me that they're just overwhelmed with people, and they love the support and helping out with that event. So glad to hear that they had a good event this year. I do want to mention the Singhampton Community Barbecue that the Deputy Mayor attended, and I attended as well. At that event, I must say, another organization in our community, the Lions Club of Stayner and District, made a contribution to the community park. there's a community park and playground equipment program that they're doing up there. And I acknowledge the wonderful work of our Lions Club members who contributed to that. Great idea for them to support the Singhampton community. And thank you very much for doing that. It was great to see many of the Lions members up there. And of course, reacquainting themselves with some of our neighbors, up there in Singhampton. We see them very often, but it was great to really socialize and have a good time. And I do want to mention the birthday celebration that I was honored to attend for Joy Burkholder. So Joy Burkholder has been a longtime member of this community. She was a teacher for years and years, in Ottawa School and other schools in and around Clearview area. But she also volunteered at the concession stand at the Stainer Arena for years and years and years when it was in the early days, Robert, of a joint operation between the Lions Club and Joy. She was there. I guess her husband was quite involved. Orm was quite involved with that too. So, but Joy was a big part of that. And I remember her running the concession stand, doing a great job there, and her happy smile. So I have to tell you a quick story. I attended the birthday celebration. I arrived with our MP, Terry Dowdle, and the two of us were sort of in line together, and we queued up and made our way to Joy. We got to see her, and she was so excited to see the two of us, and she gave us both big hugs, and she's just as sharp as ever. And we had an opportunity to present her with plaques and certificates, et cetera. And she was really, really pleased that we were there. On the table, there was other certificates there as well from, Prime Minister and Premier and so on for a 100th birthday, which is very significant. But I did take the opportunity to, which I've done with other 100th birthday, these 100 birthdays are pretty special. I took the opportunity to take the chain of office, this chain of office right here, and I put it over her neck, and I said to the crowd there that Joy is the mayor designate for the day. What do you say, folks? And they all loved it, and I said, introduced her, and so people just really liked that, and they appreciated that. But Joy appreciated it a lot, so much so that she kept my chain of office overnight. So I actually had to get it back on Sunday, just so you know, which I thought was pretty special. Good for her. So I thought that was really, really something. And so she was really, really happy about that. So anyway, congratulations and happy birthday, Joy, and thank you for everything you've done in our community over your 100 years. And what a special lady. Anyway, that's about all I have, other than I will see you all at AMO. We're going to have most of us are going, and so we're going to have a busy time there. I understand the Prime Minister is going to speak, and usually the leaders of various parties will be speaking, but certainly learning from our other colleagues at various levels of government across Ontario is the key thing that happens at this conference, and I'm most certainly looking forward to talking to a lot of them about some of the changes that are happening across our area. So. Anyway, that's all I have. Nothing further from the members. Okay, let's move on then. We do have a department report here from Public Works. This is in regards to a staff allocation for one additional full-time Public Works road operator. So I'll read the recommendation. I'll look for a mover and seconder, then we'll go to Dan and perhaps Todd, and our HR director is here too in case you have any questions. The recommendation says, be it resolved that Council of the Township of Clearview hereby receive report PW 017-2026, the Public Works Department staffing report dated August the 10th, 2026, and that item 1, Council approves increasing unionized staff for Public Works by adding one full-time permanent roads DZ driver. That's what they're looking for, is an additional roads DZ driver. I'll look for a mover on this. Mr. Broderick, thank you. Is there a seconder on this? Mr. MacArthur, thank you very much. All right, Todd, I'll let you kick this off. Nice to have you here, our manager of the department. Todd, tell us a little bit about this report and why this is an important need for your department.
Thank you, Worship. This is a report, I think, together with Dan, obviously, the Director of Public Works. We brought forward, it's a time of need now for us as we grow. This one specifically goes with the fleet that we're adding with the wheeled excavator, a new sidewalk machine that was purchased this year. We do have more sidewalk that we're assuming. I think in my 28 years I've been here now, we've assumed probably at least 6 different developments. And we haven't had to really add any routes for our staff. As the report states, we've had local contractors who do a marvelous job for us, but taken on more the last 2 years. It's growing, it's growing. We're to the point where we can do it ourselves for our public, for our staff, and we have the fleet now, we have the machinery to do it, so I think it's time that we take the leap and add one more Public Works Roads DZ driver. So again, this is a route in our winter maintenance that we do, so whether it's this person that takes that route, that's internal and will happen as the winter comes, but we do need more staff to fill the machinery that we have.
All right, thank you very much. Just look to Dan to see if you have anything you want to add.
Thank you, Worship. I just might add that, if council recalls, back in our 2025 budget, we had presented this position for council's consideration. Once we received the, and more specifically, the wheeled excavator, which we received about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month now. So we didn't want to hire a person and not have machinery for them to utilize. So this position would not specifically be operating the wheeled excavator, but it will fill in also for a DZ operator so that our more senior operators can operate that machinery on a more consistent basis, but whether it be ditching, culvert installations, road digouts, and this machine also has a brushing head. So what we're proposing with Todd and I is just to shift some of our operating, maintenance operating budget into operating wage budget. So there will be possibly some savings for 2026, and we'll figure out what we're going to do for 2027. But that also is a consideration that we can shift some money, also save some money in the operating side for 2026. I wouldn't suspect if council does approve this position, we wouldn't expect to have this person in till mid to late September anyway. So yeah, happy to answer any questions if council has any. Todd's here as well.
Yeah, and if I can add to that, Your Worship, like to Dan's point, this will allow us to, in the fall time, let our machine operators operate that machine we have, and we'll be able to backfill with a DZ driver in other tasks that we have to do, whether that be driving a truck for ditching or potholes or signs, repairs. So this will allow the wheeled excavator for the fall time to keep brushing, and then as we get into winter, they can somebody can jump in the sidewalk tractor for the winter maintenance as opposed to having that contracted out.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. And we'll look to council now if there's any questions. Paul's got a question. Go ahead, Paul.
Thank you, Your Worship. Todd, we finally got our excavator. That's great. I haven't seen it yet. And don't forget, it's going in the Santa Claus Parade this year. Parade, don't forget.
That's right. Let's not forget. That is in the Santa Claus Parade for this year.
Do I get the impression in reading the report that you're going to be putting together a dedicated team for doing the ditching and stuff like that?
I wouldn't say it's a dedicated team, but like we always do, when the supervisor will plan the work and we'll schedule that. And yes, whatever schedules our holidays and that, it varies, but we have 2 dedicated machine operators for that wheeled excavator.
Right, I understand that, yeah.
Plus 4 other operators that a couple of them can operate as well. So once we get into that season, then yes, there'll be truck drivers that will be needed. There'll be wheeled excavator to get going, and that's the goal. We'll do a certain portion, we'll do ditching, and then we'll move into brushing.
Well, I know, and I'll just speak to some of the complaints we had this spring about flooding and stuff. So I know it's going to be a catch-up game, and it's going to take a couple of years to do it, but I think that's very important. We put a dedicated plan, and with that in mind, getting another DZ driver or whatever talents that person might have, I think it's a good step forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marty. I see you're next.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yep. So it says here that you're going to save from the operation side, it looks like $105,000 in 4 months. Is that correct?
So the brushing and tree trimming, we have held back this year to get this wheeled excavator. So our hopes is that we will be able to utilize it to a month and a half, 2 months at the end of the fall, up until the winter time. We don't feel that we'll need to contract out any of that work this year, which is estimate over the last 3 years was $60,000 that we've contracted out for brushing. So as of now, we are hoping we can do it all internally still in the fall. Yes, and then the 30 and the 15,000 that you see there is, once again, a 3-year average for the winter maintenance, so that will be a savings. Some of it over this year, some of it over,
So that 105,000 is what you would save annually, is what you're saying?
yes, it'll be mixed over 2020, like a year because of the winter maintenance part, but yes.
So we've got 4 months left of this year. Is that enough savings there to cover the 27,500?
Yeah, so the 60,000, we haven't spent any of that yet. We are saving that for the brusher head to go to work in the fall, early winter, depending on winter we get. And then 30, and then the 15 will be, call it half that, for the December.
So,
November,
yeah,
December.
I know there's a lot of people complaining that we haven't done ditching in a while, so it'd be nice if you had some more of the ditching done. Thanks.
We're going to go to Dan first. He's got something.
Yeah, thank you, Worship. Maybe just to clarify that even a little bit more is we're estimating that this season for 2026, this new ad, if council chooses, would be about $27,500 for this year. So we'll save the 115, or let's say, sorry, save. We'll shift money from existing operating maintenance into operating wages. In 2027, that same position will be about 89,000, 88,000, 89,000. So we will continue to shift that 115,000 or 105,000 over to maintenance. So it would be a savings next year of the difference between 89 and 115. So is that 30 some odd thousand?
All right, appreciate that. Other questions from members? All right. Todd and Dan, I do want to emphasize that, Marty brought up a good point. There has been requests from the public to get some ditching done, and we absolutely want to see that happen. So we need to make sure that we get, perhaps as the deputy mayor said, a dedicated team that works on this, the ditch digging team. I mean, we need to get them in place soon and get some of this work done. I know we have a lot of projects that are underway for sure, and the paving is very important for sure. All these projects are. It's reassuring, by the way, to see that the drainage project's going on with that drainage facility or that pond that's being done. Glad to see that's finally happening. But it has taken many, many years to get to this point. So I would really hope that by purchasing this new piece of equipment, that we're going to be able to make sure that we get some impact this year. Really hope we can do that. Thank you.
Understood.
All right. Council, if there's nothing further, there's a motion in front of us with a mover and seconder. I'm prepared to call the motion. All those in favor? Thank you. That carries unanimous. Thank you very much for your report, Todd. And we'll move on to the next one, which is our sewer use bylaw revision. Say that quickly after having a long day with only one coffee. Let's see here. The recommendation says, be it resolved that Council of the Township Clearview hereby receive report PW 018-2026, the sewer use bylaw revision dated August the 10th, 2026. And item 1, the council supports the updates to the sewer use bylaw as outlined in Appendix A to this report. And item 2, that the updated sewer use bylaw be presented to council at the August 10th, 2026 meeting for final approval. Can I look for a mover and seconder, please, on this motion? Mr. Walker, Ms. Deneen, thank you. All right, Todd, tell us about this bylaw and the revisions that needed to be done.
Yeah, thank you, Worship. So this is I wouldn't call it a quick update, but something that's needed to go into the sewer use bylaw. Over years, once again, the 28 years I've been here, there's been servicing bylaws go out, local servicing bylaws. Some have had timelines, some have had connection requirements, some haven't. There is really nothing in place in any bylaws that stipulate a person in town from 100 years ago ever had to connect to the sanitary sewers. So this is, right now, this is adding a connection portion to the sewer use bylaw. As we go forward and as we move into early 2027, we're going to work with our staff to try and bring a wholesome update to that bylaw, because it was 2000 was the last time I believe it was maybe updated or when it was created. So I think we're due, just similar to our water bylaw, how we consolidated a few bylaws into one. But for now, this will help us as we move forward with Sunnydale Street project. The servicing bylaw for that did not stipulate a timeline for connection to the sanitary. It didn't have any clear direction, so this will help us with that and any future additions or local improvements that we might do so that it's not missed. That's kind of what this update is for right now as we move forward to Sunnydale Street and Locke Avenue and other local improvements that might happen within the next 6 months or year.
All right, fair enough. Thank you very much for that explanation. It is a good report. It's got some good information in it. I'm looking for questions. Mr. Walker, you're up first.
Just to say thank you for putting everything together under one, because I know in the past, it's been subdivision by subdivision sometimes, development by development as we've gone forward. So now at least we're on the same level playing field for all development that comes forward, whether it's individual homes or whether it's subdivisions that are being built. Once their servicing issues are put into a certificate into being, then we've got something that's universal, that everybody's on the same page. So good, thank you for putting it all into one.
That is a good point. Thank you. Mr. Deputy Mayor?
Todd, thanks. There was a few items in there that I didn't even realize we hadn't had in there in the past, and I'll just speak of a bit of experience I had recently sitting on a hearing in another committee that I'm involved with through this community. And one of the things the lawyers threw at us that was, you haven't renewed your bylaw in 10 years. Even though nothing had changed, the bylaw hadn't been renewed. And so it's so important, if you ever get into a situation for legality, from a legal point of view, they can nail you. So now we got something that's up to date, and you can say, hey, here it is. There's no arguments anymore. So thank you.
Thank you. Good point. Other members? No further questions? All right. I just have a quick question. Well, this is very much focused on asking and directing those that are in the areas where public servicing is available, that they will be required to connect. Can you outline, does this bylaw help cover us when there is a building that does have connection and is consuming units, that is no longer consuming any units and sitting basically vacant for an extended period of time? Is there any leverage in this type of bylaw about the fact that we can disconnect it for a period of time?
Thank you, Your Worship. I don't believe there is right now, but
No.
that is a good point to, as we move forward and we update the complete bylaw, to look at that as possibly a future addition. Once again, I don't know that there may be something in there now. I'm not sure if Dan maybe knows more, or Sasha, but that's a good point to bring forward as we move to the next update, a more fulsome one.
Thank you, Todd, because I'm mostly concerned, I'm interested in Dan's opinion too, because we do have some homes that are not occupied, that have not been occupied for a long time, that are in the settlement area, and I don't think they're connected, or I believe they are connected, but they're just not being used. So is there any leverage that we have on that to be able to disconnect them from that?
Thank you, Worship. And top of my head, there's nothing in the bylaw that would indicate that we would disconnect them. They would, however, still be required to pay the flat rate fee for the sewer portion. It's not, our typical rates are based on water consumption, but they would have to continue to pay the flat rate portion of the sewer bylaw, or the sewer user fee.
Yeah.
But to actually physically go in and disconnect the service, I don't think there's any.
I suppose that would only happen if in the event it was a demolition or a fire that had taken out the building, and we would have to cap it off, I guess, as a temporary measure if they were going to be replacing it, right?
I would think that, yes, yeah, that would most likely be done under a building permit, like a capping of a service.
Yeah.
However, you do bring up a good point, and we'll certainly take that back with our more fulsome update that we're planning on for either later this year or early next year. Is what if the scenario is that they're putting something in it really bad, right? Something that goes in the sewer that's really bad, what authority do we have to stop that? That's something we'll consider for the new update.
I don't want to stretch this out any further, but I do want to point out that not far from this building where we sit, there is an institutional building that flushes a toilet about once a week, that has a large water capacity that's not being used, and as a result, is not providing any flows into our sanitary sewer systems. And it's designed to deliver a significant amount of flow, but it's not being used. So at some point, you know, a facility that's not providing any type of service either needs to be accounted for in how we bill and account for the use or lack of use that we're, you know, assuming. And so we need to basically have a tool somewhere along the line to be able to exercise our ability to, you know, manage the system effectively. And when we have an institutional facility that is not using their facility, when they have a large capacity of water capacity that they are assigned but not using, that's basically holding back development in the rest of the community. So
I would say, Your Worship, that that's probably more critical on the water use side than the sewer use side. But I hear what you're saying.
yeah. Well, we have to measure them in the same flow, right? There's water in and water out. So thank you very much. All right, I have no further questions. I am glad to see that this is put together, like Councillor Walker said, associating it all together. Nothing further? All right, we've got a mover and second. Yes? Oh, go ahead, Paul. Sorry.
Thank you. I was going to comment a bit on what you just said. There's quite a few buildings on the main street of Stayner that, not quite a few, but a few that aren't being used. And I know the building you're referring to, but our old RBC and a certain hotel downtown, same thing, we get lots of them, and when we're trying to fight for capacity, we need them. My comment though, Todd, was, do we have, I read about each unit has a separate hookup. Are we going to do anything special for additional dwelling units or secondary dwelling units on a property? Are they going to be required to have a second hookup, or are they going to be required to hook into the same building? And is it dealt with in this, or do you have something else to deal with that?
Through your worship, Deputy Mayor, as of now, it's one connection, one property. I'm sure as we get into more of this residential multi-dwelling units on properties, we might have to discuss that. We have discussed that in the past, not recently, but as of now, it's one service, one property, so they have to connect to the existing.
Yeah, there's been quite a few people who have looked at getting a secondary dwelling unit on their property. I mean, our new applications we just approved are for additional dwelling units within, but the ones who want to put the secondary dwelling units on, and then it becomes, well, we're not getting another hookup, so why can't we hook up? Well, we don't have the capacity, so I think it's something we got to be prepared for anyways, and I'm looking forward for it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well done. Good questions. Nothing further from members? All right, I'll call the motion. All those in favor? That also carries unanimous. All right. Thank you very much, Todd. Thank you, Public Works. We're going to move to our Finance Department. Kelly is here. Kelly, nice to see you. Finance, this is the recommendation regarding our annual reports for our development charges. Recommendation be it resolved that Council of the Township of Clearview hereby receive report FIN 012-2026. This is for the 2023 and 2025 development charge statements dated August the 10th, 2026 for information. Okay, that would be Mr. Broderick, Mr. MacArthur, thank you. And Kelly McDonald, would you like to outline anything in this report that we need to hear, anything further that you have for us?
Thank you, Your Worship. And this is the annual DC report that Council receives. Somehow in 2024, I'm mispresenting the 2023 report that had been prepared, so it's been lumped in here as well. And then these are posted on our website. So if Council has any questions, I'm available.
That's all right. It's a pretty straightforward report. It's something we generally receive on a regular basis. So if there's any questions, Council, do you have any questions? All right, seeing none. Thank you very much, Kelly and your department for putting this report together. Council, the motion's been made. I'll call the motion. All in favor? That carries unanimous. Thank you. Planning and Building Department, we do have the Building Department Activities Report for April and June 2026. Scott Pattison is here, looking sharp. Happy to have you here. Oh, is it dapper? I think it's sharp. I'm going to go with sharp.
You got accused of being dapper.
No, okay. The Planning and Building Department report is a recommendation be it resolved that Council of the Township of Clearview hereby receive report PB 042 2026, the Building Department Activities Report for April and June 2026, dated August 10, 2026, for information. Mr. Walker, Councilor Janine, thank you. Hello, Scott.
Good evening,
Welcome.
Your Worship and Council. I'm here on behalf of Scott McLeod, Chief Building Official, for the activities report for April and June. Should you have any questions, I might be able to answer them. Otherwise, I'd be glad to take the questions back to Scott.
Okay, and if you can't answer them, nobody can. Members of council, do you have any questions to the activities report? Mr. Van Stavert.
I won't let them get away that easily, but as I mentioned to you earlier, Scott, May and June, like we were for sure falling behind, but May and June has really jumped up. Looking forward for the rest of the year, any comment about, are we seeing the same growth or the same strengths? What's your thought on that?
Well, certainly right now we're seeing positive, so that's good news. As far as the trends moving forward, we haven't seen any decline in anything, so hopefully it still continues to uptick as we're seeing it.
Do we see any of our developers starting to put big applications forward now or pulling permits for that?
I'm certainly not aware of privy of that information, but certainly if there's discussions, planning staff would certainly know before I would, or even the chief would know before I would. So I'm not sure if the developers are moving forward at this time. I haven't heard anything personally myself.
It's just nice to hear because we've been trying to support Premier Ford's initiatives and stuff, and we have the word out, of course, that the water, the water's coming and we have our sewers here, sort of thing. So it's just sort of nice to know that if we start to see that it's a positive that we can report, and especially in a situation where we're going to AMO next week, we will be meeting with some of our counterparts and stuff. So it's nice to know if the initiatives are working for the province. Thank you.
All right, other members? No further questions? Scott, I would ask you, if you could just give an outline for the timeline of someone who would make an application right now, given that it is sort of a busy time, people are rushing to get their projects done before winter. So when they approach the front counter here and deal with the building department staff and planning department staff, what would their timeline be to get an expectation of seeing a building permit be issued for something like a deck or something like that? Is it still like about a 5-day turnaround? That's kind of what it used to be, and
yeah, certainly within the 5 to 10. Yeah, within the 5 to 10, Your Worship. Yeah.
Yeah, so about 5 days should turn around for something like a deck or a small addition on a house, like changing a window or changing a roof line or something like that.
Certainly right now for smaller projects, we seem to be turning that around in a quicker time frame between the 5 and 10. Our 10 is the statutory, so
yeah.
Certainly for the smaller projects, we do tend to get them out a little bit quicker. Yeah. We always have, and certainly the much larger projects do take more time.
The other question that came to me too recently was sewer inspections. Are we still doing some of those? The follow-ups on that?
Any new installation of sewer work to a property, we do review and inspect those, yes.
Yeah. So we're staying up to date on those as best we can. Do we have a backlog of some of those inspections, or are we in good shape?
No, we're in good shape.
Excellent.
Not that I'm aware of any sewer problems, so no.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for your time here to join us. Members of council, if there's anything further? Seeing none, I'll call the motion then. All those in favor? That carries unanimous. Thank you so much for your attendance. Let's see here. We have the Clerk's Department of Bylaw Enforcement. So, Madam Clerk, we'll go to you here on this one. This is report number LS018. Recommendation be it resolved that Council of the Township of Clearview hereby receive report LS018. This is the board and committee meeting structure discussions in regards to 2026 to 2030 term. And it's dated August the 10th, 2026 for information. All right, I'll turn this right there. Let's go to a mover and seconder first. Mr. Broderick, Ms. Deneen. Okay, thank you. Please, go right ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship, to the rest of council. It's a pretty informative report. It's basically streamlining our committee and boards. At the end of this term, we're going to have 16 committees and boards that Clerk's Department primarily provides support to. We're looking at ways to streamline that for efficiency and effectiveness. We often think that having more committee and board meetings means that it's more productive, but that actually isn't always the case. We can streamline that. We can do bi-monthly meetings. So that's what we're trying to do here for the next term. Move to bi-monthly meetings, so people meet 6 times a year with the opportunity to have a special meeting if an event comes up or an item needs to be considered. And working with the staff resources that we currently have by grouping that by geography and having a bunch of meetings at the same day, so that staff member is doing everything all in one day rather than scattered over the week. And this also helps with our council members because they are also members of our committees and boards and not meeting monthly, meeting bi-monthly, so that their schedule is a little bit has relief as well. So we're here to answer any questions, and this was a joint collaborative effort between everyone in the clerk's department. Our previous legislative coordinator streamlined this report for us. She's no longer with us, but we're happy to present it.
Yes, she's only been gone since Thursday, and she's already missed. So there you go. Shows you the impact she made. Well done, Shannon. Members of council, do you have any questions to the clerk or others? Yes, Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Worship. I think it's a great idea going bi-monthly, and I think the other thing that allows is hopefully quorums will be met for every meeting instead of a monthly where we end up with no quorum. So maybe this way, by being bi-monthly, then that's a guarantee that we will have quorums then for all of our meetings instead of having to people show up and the rest go home because we can't do anything. So I think it's a great idea to go that way, as well as suits staff, suits council. I think it's a great suggestion to do that.
It is a good suggestion. Thank you very much. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Your Worship. Madam Clerk, I don't know if it's an omission or shouldn't be on this report, but an appointment to the NVCA is not listed in your, and so am I right or wrong? And I'm comparing it to the Police Services Board, for example. So.
Thank you. Through your worship to Deputy Mayor, it's because we don't provide actual support for that committee, for that board at the MVCA level. And I don't know what that new structure is going to look like. So these ones are the council committees and boards. The clerk's department is either the staff liaison, recording clerk, or does both double duty. We don't provide that administrative support for the MVCA.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
well, I saw, like I was looking at the OPP board, and I'm thinking that's a community thing. And
We provide direct support for that. Our deputy clerk, she does all the staff liaison and the recording clerk functions for that, yeah.
Okay, it's just something that maybe, from in a new election period, somebody saw it there, that it's not an advisory, we're not part of it, but we do appoint to that
Yes.
board. And you're right what you're saying, we do not know how it's going to look, whether we get an appointment, don't get an appointment, nobody knows yet. So.
Yeah, yeah. But if we do, it'll be included in our next term of council when we do all the appointments of council member representatives with the mayor. That one would be included if we know what that structure will look like.
Thank you.
Going to add to that conversation, if I can, Deputy Mayor and Council. The other committee that, we as a council have to participate in, and that is the Niagara Escarpment Commission. Because the Niagara Escarpment Commission, the Niagara Escarpment only, in Simcoe County, only touches Clearview Township. So as a result, County of Simcoe has a policy that the member that they nominate for the position will come from Clearview Township. And the nomination process is it must be from the elected body. So it'll be someone from this table will end up being nominated, then go to the county then nominates it, and then the Niagara Escarpment Commission. But to your point, it's sort of like the NVCA and the fact that there's no direct support by our staff or tax dollars that are spent from our municipality to support those. It's all supported by our contributions that we make, in a general term. So anyway, there you go. It's something to think about. It's a good report, though, and I do like the idea of changing some of the meeting requirements. I know that it was this last term that we determined that the number of members of each board would not exceed the same number of members of council. So the boards can only be 7 members. That's as high as they can be on the board. But that doesn't preclude anybody from being a volunteer and supporting the organization, supporting the, small hall board as a volunteer in the community. That's absolutely welcome. But the actual naming and appointment process will not exceed 7. So, all right. Nothing further? All right, we've got a mover and seconder. I'll call the motion. All those in favor? And that's unanimous once again. Now, we've got our Joint Compliance Audit Committee Terms of Reference. And the recommendation says, be it resolved that Council of the Township of Clearview hereby receive Report LS019, the Joint Compliance Audit Committee Terms of Reference and Appointments dated August 10, 2026. And that item 1, a bylaw establishing the Joint Compliance Audit Committee and to appoint members be presented at the August 10, 2026 meeting for approval. And I'll look to the Deputy Mayor to make that. Perhaps Mr. Walker. Would you be good? Thank you, sir. Would you like to speak to this? This pretty good report.
Thank you. I can confirm this is one that we don't provide administrative support for. This is
That's
at the
right.
county level, so I'm happy to say that.
Thank you very much. So this is pretty straightforward. It's just our municipality is combining with other municipalities through the county with the Joint Compliance Audit Committee. Anything further? All right, then I'll call the motion. All in favor? And that carries unanimous. Thank you very much, Council. All right, that's it for reports at this time. We're going to move to our bylaws. Bylaw number 2655 is the amending agreement number 2, subdivision pre-servicing Mowat Street improvement works for the estates of Clearview. Recommendation, be it resolved. Bylaw 2655 being a bylaw to enter into an amending agreement number 2 to the subdivision and pre-servicing and Mowat Street Road Improvement Works Agreement with the estates of Clearview, Nottawasaga Station Phase 2 for the inclusion of the Mowat Street Urbanization Works be presented and read a first, second, and third time, finally passed on the 10th day of August, 2026. Is there a mover and seconder on this motion, please? Mr. MacArthur, Mr. Broderick. Thank you very much, gentlemen. The bylaw, this is agreement number 2, and so if there's any questions, seeing none, I'll call the bylaw. All in favor? That carries unanimous. Thank you. This is the sewer bylaw that we spoke of earlier. This will be bylaw number 0013. Recommendation be it resolved that bylaw 2656, being a bylaw to amend sewer use bylaw 00313, be presented and read a first, second, and third time, finally passed on the 10th day of August, 2026. Mr. Walker, Mr. Beelan, thank you. Any questions on this bylaw? All those in favor? That bylaw carries. The Joint Compliance Audit Committee, be it resolved that bylaw 2657, being a bylaw to establish and appoint a Joint Compliance Audit Committee, be presented or read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed on the 10th day of August, 2026. Councillor Beelan, thank you. Councillor Broderick, thank you. All right, and nothing further on that. All those in favor? Thank you. That bylaw carries. Council, item 12, is there notice of motion or new business? There's no notice of motion been provided to me. Is there any new business? I will ask our Director of Public Works, have you received the clearance on the reduction of the speed of Highway 26 out on the east side of Stainer? Is that happening?
Your Worship, last correspondence that I had from folks at the MTO was that they were putting a rush on it.
A rush.
I'm not sure how quick their rush is.
Well, there's a couple of rush concerts happening in Toronto. Maybe that's what they're talking about.
And that was about, I'd say, 3 weeks ago was the last I touched base with them, just shortly. I might even been the day the lights got energized there. Sorry, I don't have any further update for you.
All right, I'd like to share with you an update, because I have an update. I contacted the minister, and he responded to me. I asked him and reminded him that his letter to me that was sent to me at the end of March confirmed that this would be happening. And he replied, thanks for your note. I will look into this and get back to you shortly with an answer. So that was the minister himself. I look forward to seeing him next week. So we'll have a good conversation face to face. You have nothing further, though. Thank you. No other new business? No? All right. Council may have a confirmatory bylaw at this time. Be it resolved that bylaw 2658, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the August 10, 2026 council meeting, be presented and read a first, second, and third time, finally passed on the 10th day of August, 2026. Mr. Walker. Thank you. Mr. Broderick. Thank you. All those in favor? And that bylaw carries. The motion to adjourn. shall be 6:26, we'll call it. Recommendation that the council meeting be adjourned at 6:26 PM. Mr. Deputy Mayor, thank you, and Ms. Deneen, thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. That carries, and I would encourage everyone to come out on Thursday night